Hello, so welcome to the next square of the 50 stitches crochet along, and today we're making the V-stitch. So it's a really lovely stitch, lovely lacy look, and it's just a series of V's made into the top of another V. There are several variations of the V-stitch, but this is the one I've chosen to do today. So it's great for blankets, scarves, shawls, and you can make it lacier than this if you use a lace weight, so it's much more holey and lacy. Or you can use a chunky yarn with a smaller hook, and then these holes will be greatly reduced, and it's quite a thick snug fabric if you do it that way. So it's got a lot of uses, and it's a really pretty stitch. So how are we going to do it? So we're going to start with a chain of 32 and a 4mm hook. I'll just zoom in. There we go. And we're going to start by doing a double crochet in the 5th chain from your hook. So it's being in the 5th chain because we're going to make our turning chain a double crochet, and we want a chain 1 as well. So not a chain 1, we're going to have a skipped stitch in our chain. So we're going into the 5th chain from your hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into there. And double crochet. Okay, so we've got our double crochet and we've skipped one chain. And now we're going to chain 1, and into that same stitch we've just done that double crochet, we're going to do another double crochet. And that is our first V-stitch. So a V-stitch is a double crochet, a chain 1 and a double crochet all made into the same stitch. Don't worry about this big gap, that's going to close up as we go along. So now we're going to skip 2 chains and make another V-stitch. So just double crochet, chain 1 and double crochet into the same stitch. There we go. And we're going to do this all the way along our chain. So you skip 2 and then V-stitch. And you should end up with 9 V-stitches in every row. So we're going to do this all the way down, skip 2 V-stitch, make 9 V-stitches in total. We're going to go all the way down until we've got 3 stitches left. So this is the only row you need to keep any real count of your stitches. The rest of them are much simpler to keep track of. No counting really involved. Sure you're pleased to hear. There are several versions of the V-stitch out there, and because they all create the V look, they're all called V-stitch. So if you have seen another variation out there, don't worry, you've not got the name wrong. The name of this isn't wrong. It just depends on which version of the V-stitch you've done before. But I've gone with this one just because it's kind of the simplest and doesn't involve chaining together or anything. 2 to there. There we go, and we've got 3 chains left. So now we're going to skip 1 and then just normal double crochet in the last 2 stitches. So normally this stitch is done in multiples of 3, plus 1, but because we need to get our count the same for all our stitches, all our squares even, I've had to modify a little bit. So we just got that 2 double crochet on one end. And there we go. There's our V-stitch. So now we're going to turn, and I'm going to do an alternate double crochet for our turning chain. If you haven't seen this done before, if you just search my YouTube channel for turning chain, and this will come up. I prefer this method as a turning chain just because it's nice and chunky like a stitch and doesn't leave any bumps or gaps. Let's pop that in the top so that counts as a stitch, and we're going to double crochet into the top of that double crochet there. So now we need to carry on with our V's. So you don't need to count really, because all you're going to do is do your V stitches into the top of that turning chain, not turning chain, chain 1 of the V stitch below. So you're just going to make it into these gaps. So double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet into the top of that V from the row below. And that's all we're going to do across the entire row and into the top of the next one. So really easy stitch. Once you've done that first row, you're just going to V-stitch into the top of every V-stitch from the row below and do that all the way across. When you get to the end double crochets, you just pop a double crochet in the top, and that is all there is to it. So every row will be 30 stitches. It's a really nice simple stitch to complete, and that is all we do until we get the height we need. So the rows on this are a bit awkward in that we need 13 rows, which just makes the border a bit pinickety, but I will take you through that in a moment. And there we go, there's our V-stitch. So V-stitch on top of V-stitch all the way up for 13 rows. There's all there's to it. Just remember, pop double crochet on top of the other double crochets. So you'll have 2 on one side and 1 on the other. Okay. So I'll bring back a square I've already completed. So the double crochet size over here. So that's one, we've got 2 of them. On this side we've got 1. It's not massively noticeable, so it's not going to cause too much lopsidedness. Unfortunately, it's the only way I could do it to make it's quite the same count. So for the border, top and bottom are nice and easy. Into each gap on top of the V, it's 2 single crochet, and then at the top of the post, 1 single crochet. Okay, and then 2. So it goes 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 all the way across. And you do that for the top and bottom. Actually, no, that's the top, that's the bottom. Good, so it's really easy to keep track of. Now, into the sides, because we've got 13 rows, it's a bit more awkward. So, for the sides, in row 1, you have 3 single crochet in the side, plus that extra for the diagonal, so that looks like 4 stitches in. Then 1, 2, 3, into the side of the 4th row, you have 3 single crochet. 5, 6, 7, 8. And then into the side of row 9, you have 3 single crochet. And row 13, 3 single crochet plus your extra for the diagonal. All the other rows, you put 2 single crochet in the side. It's a bit more awkward, but if I added any more rows, it would have been too high. So that is the V-stitch. So as always, if you have any questions, come over to the Facebook group. Always happy to answer. Oh, that's the bottom. Honestly, I get myself mixed up sometimes. Right, so that's what I'll just go over the border again. So into the bottom, top and bottom, into the nice big gaps, it's 2 single crochet. Into the bottom, or where that post is, that's 1 single crochet. So you'll do 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, all the way across. So that's 30 stitches in total, plus the extra diagonal single crochet on each corner. So that counts 32. I count that diagonal in the count for each side. And on the side, remember you got rows 1, 3, 9 and 13. You need to have 3 single crochet in those and 2 single crochet in the other rows, and you'll get 30 plus the diagonal, 32 in total on those sides. And there is your V-stitched square. So if you have any questions, come to the Facebook group. The link is in the description. And please do come show us your squares. I always love to see the finished squares. And I will see you for the next square next week. And bye for now.